The Stag 3G AR-15. Man, I was stoked when this gun came out in 2011. I know it's a while back. It's taken me a little bit to get to this review. But here's why I liked that Stag produced this gun. Now, I know their focus was competition. Mine is SPR. I think for most purposes, the best barrel length for an AR-15 is not 16, not 10, not 14 and a half, but 18 inches. You can make it super lightweight, as I hope to show in this video. Super accurate and very, very capable. So when I saw Stag come out with 3G, I was like, yes! An 18-inch factory-produced precision AR-15. Again, the focus with the 3G is on competition. We get that. And I was thinking to myself, well, I know this is a competitor rifle, but I wonder how it would work in the SPR role. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look up my video posted, I don't know, 2012 or so. Concept SPR, special purpose rifle. And that to me is a precision 5.56 chambered AR-15, usually, SPR. And it can range out short, long, hits harder, better ballistics, still super lightweight, very, very capable platform. We didn't go all the way to a 20-inch barrel. We didn't go all the way down to a 14.5. We're at 18. This is an 18-inch barreled AR. And I'm a fan. It's a good gun. Now, a lot has changed in the AR-15 world in the last 4 years. We're going to look at those, and I hope to bring them to your attention in this GRV. So, you know, is the Stag 3G the cutting edge? Competition-wise, I think it's in the running, definitely. But if you're like me and you think of it in terms of a battle rifle, 5.56 chambered, will for the moment discard other calibers. 5.56, maybe there's other options that you should look at. But good on them for doing it. And by the way, this is going to be a short GRV. I'm going to make it 20-25 minutes. Because nowadays I'm not, going to come to the table pretending like you've never seen an AR-15 before. I'm not going to do it. You guys, you're experts at this point. So, philosophy of use, for instance, you get it. Standard. How about that? I'm just going to say standard from here on out. It'll, keep the video shorter. I will say this: if there's any variants on philosophies of use, I'll mention them here. And like I said initially, it's kind of here in that it's a competition rifle. This is important because of the following. The Stag 3G is not the lightest weight 18-inch barreled AR out there. In fact, my builds beat it significantly. But is that what you want in a competition rifle? Super, super lightweight? A carbon fiber, 18-inch AR, let's just say, weighs 4 pounds? No. No. You want something smooth, fast, that can transition quickly, but you also want a certain level of weight, in my way of thinking, that's all it is, to make the shot. It's going to be a more accurate rifle, smoother on the recoil impulse, less muzzle rise. I think there's a happy medium, and I think the 3G is getting most of it right. I wouldn't mind it to be just a little bit lighter, like I said, but I think it's getting most of it right. It's for faster split times, all different levels of competition, 3-gun, He-Man matches, zombie matches, whatever you want to call them. That's the focus of this build. And to understand that is to understand the component selection that Stag does on this gun, the 3G. They built a lot of other ARs. And by the way, this is the first Stag AR I've reviewed. So I guess the innards will be pretty standard. Let's just jump into SAWC design and ergos, because there's one thing I want to, and I'm going to start here and move back again. The 18-inch barrel, but rifle length gas system. A lot of competitors like that rifle length gas system. It's smoother, quicker follow-up shots, recoil impulse, whatever you want to call it. They like it. You'll see as we go along the track record that maybe there's, I don't know if it's just this sample or whatever. We'll get to that. Like I always say, the plot will thicken a little bit there. The barrel is 18 inches. It's 410 stainless steel. Is that the best stainless material? Debatable. I think it totally gets the job done. It's fluted its entire length, as you can see, and it's pretty thick. So it's definitely probably mid-profile plus. This is, again, as as intended for the competitor market, I think. The muzzle brake, by the way, they call it, it's a proprietary brake. The Stag 3G brake, imagine that, is really good. Really good. You'll see the footage of us shooting it, and it is on target. Not the quietest thing around, but you're going to have to make compromises with whatever muzzle device you put on it. So this is designed to mitigate muzzle rise and climb, and I think it does it superbly. To the point where, if that's what I wanted, I wouldn't mind buying it separately and putting it on a different gun. I think they really got it right. And according, I'm not a competitor, don't run in those circles too much, but I think if you go with a longer muzzle device, it'll put you in unlimited class or open class, whatever they call it. I think this is short enough where you stay in that more restricted category. So maybe you'll have, you know, more stock guns to compete against. What do I know? 1 1/8 twist on this, supposedly to stabilize heavier rounds. We'll look at accuracy here in a second. Button rifled. And then that'll take us to a very lengthy 15-inch long Samson Evolution handguard. This, in my way of thinking, is kind of a previous generation handguard. I think they're even thinner and lighter than this now. I'll show you one before the video ends. It's still good. I think the diameter of the handguard is excellent. I get the rope grip a little bit more these days. I'm talking about that far forward way of holding the gun. It works. You know, it brings the gun in, it tucks it, it's more controllable. You can transition quicker that way. Doable when you have a 15-inch handguard, and it makes sense, again, for the competition philosophy of use. You can attach side rails on it. I didn't see any that came with a gun, but you can get them. There's all sorts of competing systems on handguards now for ARs, right? M-Lock, Key Mod, this one. You know, it'll be interesting to see what survives in the marketplace. Going back, standard receiver, 70-75, no surprises here. Standard controls. By the way, on top of this rifle is just a test bed Redfield 3x9 and a Weaver SPR mount. It works. It's a good scope. It's just for testing and review is all. I didn't shoot it with irons. I was going to. I don't think I did. I may have forgotten. Multiple outings. Sometimes it all blends. Standard charging handle here. Would I swap that out? Perhaps. A lot of different and excellent charging handle options on the market, and it's pretty easy to do, pretty cost effective. I can pretty much guarantee you the competitors would change this out. You know, dual latch, big latch, Badger, whatever you want to do. Tons of options out there. Some are really, really excellent. The trigger is standout in the Stag 3G. It is a Geisley 3-gun trigger, pulling at about 3.5 pounds according to its specification. Let's check it right here, right now, and we'll see what it pulls at. It's one of the best AR triggers I pulled. I'll say that. Wow, that's bold, Nutton. I know. It's pretty excellent. Most of the time, I find they pull a little bit heavier than advertised. Let's see where we're at on this one. Pretty close. 312 on that pull. Really nice trigger. I mean, that is a standout you'll see across the board of anybody shooting the Stag 3G. Then we get ourselves a dual sling plate in the 3G. Well done, Stag. Love it when makers do that. Extra value, and yes, I still use slings that attach that way, with like a mash hook or whatever. I find that the flush-mounted QD swivels are kind of heavy. Sometimes like 1.5 ounces a piece. But that's nothing. Well, it's something, and it adds up. Next thing you know, you'll have a 2-pound sling with the hardware, and I'm not exaggerating. I've seen them, and guys are like, oh, this is the best sling. I'm like, come on. I'm all about SAWC, you know that. So, well done, and that is ambidextrous here on the 3G. As far as the fire controls, not so much. But look in the Stag lineup, and you'll see some dedicated lefty AR-15s sitting there for you. Standard buffer tube, I think it's mil spec, I didn't measure it. And then we get a Magpul ACS stock in the back. Really excellent for competition. It's smooth, got a great precision cheek rest. Doesn't rip the hair out of your beard, not the lightest thing around, but for, again, the philosophy of use competition rifle, great choice. And I love the MOE grip. Perhaps my favorite still, with all the grips that are out there for the AR. So pretty excellent. So that's down and dirty. Features on the Stag 3G. A lot of it is pretty standard, as is firepower. Track record. What should I cover first? Track record or accuracy? Okay, I know you guys want track record. I did have some stoppages in the 3G, and they were kind of perplexing to me. So not me, but me and the crew did. And I'll show you footage of it. We're out in the desert, and for whatever reason, the cartridge on the top of the magazine would not feed. It was like the bolt going over the top of it. And it wasn't the magazine. I was using these excellent Lancer magazines. We put a different mag in. We downloaded it so it wasn't overloaded. And it still happened a couple times, not a lot. And I really don't know why. We looked at it, I'm like, just shaking my head. I was like, I haven't seen that out of a DI gun ever. And then the problem went away. So that was the first thing. It was like, and then it just shot. Great. You know, a couple hundred rounds later, it's doing good. And then I decided to run this stuff, just for the heck of it, some Wolf, and see how that went. And it didn't go so good. It didn't. So I had several stoppages with Wolf. And I mentioned that rifle length gas system. Wolf is a notoriously dirty and underpowered AR round, right? We know this, but it's cost effective, and you know, once in a blue moon I'll shoot it. It might be the only round you have, and that's kind of like why I roll it into the review. It did not like it. So what I did out in the desert, I took the gun apart and I lubed it, and I looked and I was like, well, do I have carbon fouling from the range session? What was going on? And it was dirty inside, so I put some Slip 2000 on it, and it seemed to run better, but I think I still had a stoppage after that with Wolf. And then I just said, forget this, back to brass I go, and started running brass again, and then it ran 100%. So there's your data point, whatever it's worth, probably not much. So rifle length gas system, it's not the first problem I've seen, nor have we seen at this table. It's smooth firing, but you might need a certain power level to run it. Big surprise, right? We kind of knew that. My favorite gas system is not rifle length, but mid-length. 8-10-inch barrel, mid-length gas system. You're going to see one here in just a little bit. Yeah, so that's that. Other than that, it ran good, and that will take us to accuracy of the Stag 3G. I would expect it to be super accurate, right? What's super accurate? Half MOA is what I think. Hang on, I gotta dig these out. And this is what I got. I would say it's pretty good with some loads, and other loads are disappointing. So this is 100 yards in the desert. All of these are good trigger pulls. If they're not, I'll annotate it. That's not a good group. 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 That's okay group. For the ammo, look at the types of ammo I'm shooting. This is tacticalammunition.com, 77 grain. It's a very, very consistent load. It will shoot into 1/3 of an inch out of a certain gun. A lot of guns, actually, and I'll show you paper that proves that. Gold medal match, probably my overall favorite precision load. It's been very consistent. That's shooting, that's a 1.8 inch group. Fiocchi 77 grain. I don't know. It is what it is. And so I took it out again. I was like, well, maybe it's me. Maybe I did something. So this is another day in the desert. So we're seeing the same type of groupings. I'm seeing about at 1.5 MOA is what I'm seeing. Then I got another shooter on it. This is PFI dude, and he did better. So look at the group he shot. So 77 grain. So I was like, well, maybe it is me. Maybe I am doing something. I don't know. And then his groups kind of started doing what mine did. But he did get these groups. So maybe I just suck. I love putting a different shooter on it because I want to represent the gun accurately. So it is capable of sub MOA actually. Well, this is more like MOA. And let's see. Then I took it out again in a controlled range session, and this is what I came up with. So it was out in the desert on a polymer table, I will say that. So then we're on concrete, and this is what I come up with. 3/4 MOA, better. That's what I would expect. 1 MOA. Oh, hold on, that's not this gun. That's my Saber Defense SPR build. Remember that TAC A? So I've told you, it's shooting easily into an inch here. 3G shooting TAC A all over the place here. Don't know why. That's Saber SPR. It's kind of a good comparison. This is my SPR shooting just over an inch, maybe 1 MOA here with TAC A. Fiocchi I think this is 3G. That's great. 1/3 MOA. 3G with a Hornady boat tail hollow point. I think it's this round right here. That's what I'm shooting out of it. You'll see it in video probably. Gold medal match shooting into 2 MOA. So I don't know. I'll probably stick with what I said with that it's around 1.5 to 2 MOA, dudes. Yeah, it's kind of surprising because I would expect this to be like, well, I'll show you what it's supposed to be like. Accuracy, field strip, a standard AR-15, accessory standard. That'll take us to this, and I got to run through that. Here's I've never shown this on the camera before. Here's my latest SPR build, dudes. It is using an Odin Works barrel. It is using a Midwest Industries. This is current generation, current technology. This is the SSM rail. I absolutely love it. It's M-LOK capable, Mac tactical lower. I'm using a Rock River Arms bolt carrier group and an AR gold trigger, and it's going to be lighter than the 3G. And I put it on the table as a competitive option because nowadays guys build their ARs so frequently, right? And that's an MFT stock. This, by the way, weighs everything included with a 30-round mag in it about 9 pounds. And super quick, I don't know, maybe I'll do a separate video on this sometime because I know guys want to know. And it's got a Battle Comp 2.0 on it. This is how that gun shot. So that's my SPR build, dudes. That's no kidding, no crap, no BS. Yeah, and that's with 55 grain. Jeez, holy crap, that's accurate. So that's a 1/3 MOA shooter. Easily out shooting the 3G, just keeping it real with the same shooter. So that brings us back to competitive options. Oh, there's a ton. Like I said, the gun came out in 2011, 3G. I think it's a good gun. I really do. The AR-15 or the Stag 3G AR is a good gun. I don't know if it's great from the accuracy I saw. From some of the stoppages I've seen, I've had 0 in that. 0, and it shoots steel all day long if I have to. I hate running steel down that barrel, but if I have to, I can. You know, I'll run this type of steel down it a little bit. All types of competitive options, some of them even making some competitive oriented 18-inch barrel, maybe it's a rifle length or mid-length gas system AR that will compete directly against 3G. Coming to mind is a LAR, the LAR-15 by Rock River X series. That has a TRO4N though that I do not like. I think the Samson Evolution is even better, and it has that operator stock which I don't like anymore. They have broken on me out in the field. I'm talking the Rock River, but I think it's accurate. Every Rock River I've ever shot has impressed me, shooting to the level, almost to the level of that SPR that I built right there on the table. But you got options from Salient Arms, Smith & Wesson, Rock River, Delton, BCM, Rainier, POF, Adcore Defense, Colt, LWRC, just to name a few. There you go. Hey man, under 25 minutes. That's awesome. Would I buy a Stag 3G? As a competitor, yes, I would. Because it is outfitted with, like I said, very focused, competitor-oriented stuff. I think it's accurate enough for that philosophy of use. Again, this was a sample of one. You know, so maybe I get another one and it shoots like, oh, you know, half MOA. Could happen. Mine didn't though. It totally did not. But my focus is not on competition, it's on warfighting, and these are really two different philosophies of use you're looking at. I don't know if you realize that. But notice the handguard I go with. I don't go with the 15. I want the shortest handguard that I need to get the job done. That is to run a light, run a bipod, and enough length to hold on to. That's a different philosophy of use. This is designed to go out more like 400 yards, but if I have to stretch with 77s out to 600, I can. I'd rather use a 308, like I've said. Would this be a good competitive option? I think you could do it, absolutely. I would want a longer forend, you know, for a far forward carry. And you could easily swap that if you want it. There you go. Good gun. It's going to run around 12-ish, maybe 11-ish. Link in the description where I recommend to buy it. The Stag 3G. Good AR. Fun reviewing it. Maybe I'll do more in the future. Nutnfancy. See ya.